Hi, welcome back to Zack of All Trades. I'm Zack, and today I'm going to see if I can finish the job that I started a year ago. If you're watching this video, there's a good chance that you may have also seen the prequel. If you did not see the prequel, I highly recommend it. Go back and check it out. But since you're here anyway, I'll go ahead and give you the brief synopsis. This snowmobile was abandoned. I looked up the word. Abandoned fits the situation for this snowmobile. 20 years ago, when I left home for the military, it got parked and left for dead, basically. Last year, I come up north for Christmas time to spend Christmas with my family, and I got a wild hair and decided I was going to see if I could make it run. I was successful in getting it to start, but there were some things that, well, basically the carburetor was hooped, and there was a couple of other things that needed a little bit of work. So, over the year, I ordered some parts off of Fleabay because you can't really order very many new parts for this thing. I brought the parts up here with me. It's been almost no snow for the entire time that we've been up here. Maybe a quarter of an inch of snow, and that's just barely. Last night, of course, it's 2 days before we're getting ready to leave, but last night it finally dumped some snow on us. Now, it's still not a ton. It's maybe 4 inches, but I'm going to call that enough to take this old critter for a ride if I can get it going. So I'm going to go ahead and install the parts that I brought, and we'll see what happens. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to reposition this thing. It seems to have gotten moved over the year. Some piece of equipment needed to come out or something, so my sled's parked on a side hill underneath a tree, and I don't really want to be working there. There was a number of people after last year's video that criticized me for, why are you working on it outside? Bring it inside to work on. Well, you know, as much as I would love to bring it inside, sometimes you just don't have a place to put it inside and work on. Most of you understand that out there. Evidently, some of you don't. But for those that don't, hopefully now I've sufficiently explained it. So I got to see if this thing's frozen. Oh, it's not really frozen to the ground. That's kind of cool. I'm actually going to start at the easiest thing just because it'd be kind of nice to have a win to start it out with. So I bought a new ignition coil. Not because the ignition coil was bad, but because the leads have been shortened for some reason, and I've got all this speaker wire, or I don't know, some garbage from the past that's in there. So I figured the best way to fix that is to just replace the whole coil. That's a very long bolt. Good grief. I feel like that bolt was unnecessarily long for that spot. All right, in all of her glory. Yes, I'm going to put this great big long bolt back in there just because I don't have a supply of 10mm bolts on me at the moment. I'm going to screw this a ways on, and I'm going to take it back off just to see where it's screwing in. Make sure I got good contact here. Okay, so we're going to go over here. Wire the second. That's not very pretty, but it's a good place to start. Next, we're going to go on to the more involved stuff. I gotta get, man, I forgot about that being all busted up. Take this apart. Air box out. I don't even know if that air box is going to stay in there. I had a couple people tell me that the air box was absolutely necessary for it to run. Don't know. I hate to disagree on grounds where I don't really have much authority to speak, but I don't know. Maybe it's just tuned for that airflow. We'll see. We'll give it a shot. I'm gonna get this hunk of junk out of here. Oh, cool. Man, I wish I had someplace inside to work on this, where this fuel line would be warm, not cold and stiff. And the other thing that I need to replace is this rubber deal, because it is pretty sure that it's cracked. I hope that you can see daylight through there. Yeah, so this flange was cracked, letting in air right there. That's not good. So, ordered up a replacement. So the last video about this thing got quite a bit of attention, which I thought was pretty cool. One of the things that, I don't know, I've had kind of a lot of cool interactions with people in the snowmobile world, and I was also referred to another snowmobile dude on YouTube whom I had somehow never heard of, and I'm a little embarrassed now to admit that I'd never heard of Enticer Larry. Dude, how can you be a snowmobile guy, I guess, and never have heard of Enticer Larry? Am I saying it right? Is it Enticer Larry, or is it Larry Enticer? Anyway, dude's a hoot to watch, man. Clamp down on this thing like crazy. You know, I guess I could just swap out this slide for this slide. Let's see, why not? See if I got any numbers. 504, 504. Same. So out goes that slide, in goes this slide. Man, this is going to be even more straightforward than I thought. I have, by the way, taken this carburetor all apart and gone through it. The gentleman that I bought it from on eBay sold it as a serviceable, so I expected to need to clean it up a little bit, which was the case, but that's okay. I'm fine with that. Just gave me the opportunity to make sure everything was in good shape anyway. One of the problems with the carburetor that I just took off was that the enrichment valve, the little plunger here on the enrichment valve, was absolutely seized in the passage, and when I tried to pull it out, I eventually just pulled the cable out of the little thingamajig here. So I ordered a new one of these, which I was super stoked. I was actually able to find a new, they call it a starter cable, which is kind of funny, but this is the fuel enrichment. It serves the same purpose as a choke. A choke cuts off the air to increase the fuel to air mixture. This one just gives it more fuel rather than having a little butterfly for the choke. So, got a new one of those. That's stuffed in there. And we should be nearly off to the races here. Alright, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put the feed tube on. Suck out a little bit of chainsaw gas. Put it in here. That should be enough. So that my carburetor bowl is full. I'm going to start off using the key this time. See if that helps. Wish me luck. You're going to yell at me about this, but I'm going to do just a little squirt here, because in my view, I know that starting fluid dries out the walls of the cylinders, But there's also something to be said for pulling and pulling and pulling and pulling and pulling without it running without it sucking any fuel through there. So I'm going to give it one quick squirt here. See if that helps any. Okay. We'll call that ignition trouble. Can't just be easy, can it? Sure we got spark on both sides. Oh yeah. We got lots of spark. So maybe she just flooded. I'll do a quick shot of this. Fire in the hole. Got ignition, that's good. Okay. Replaced all these hoses last year. Thought maybe they'd still be good. Was very wrong about that. Okay, I know my issue is fuel delivery, and rather than trying to haphazardly hook up to some of these, hook up to this gas tank or whatever, I'm gonna do the other thing that I bought to replace, and that's a new gas tank. Yeah, because this one leaks out all over the place, and yeah, it's just a mess. Now we can move forward, and it's starting to snow. One of the things that somebody mentioned in the comments, which I really appreciated, was that the seals around the crankshaft tend to dry up and leak air. If they are, there's really not a whole lot that I can do about it at this point. I'm not going to tear it all down and fix it right now. But I would like to find out if that's actually going on. And I figure the best way to do that is I've got a can of starting fluid. I'm going to get it started, and then I'm going to do my best to shoot that starting fluid in there around where the seals are and see if it speeds up. I don't know if that's really the best way to do it, but that's what I'm going to give it a try. We'll see. Oh yeah, anybody want a bee's nest? I've got plenty. For some reason bees like this snowmobile. do you think? Huh? After, I think 21 years, I think she's doing it right.
Here he comes.
Never complain about a second round.